A special good night to all our viewers and welcome to the first Youth Forum of 2025. I am Clevena Brown and I'm pleased to serve as your host tonight. So, tonight we have a very interesting topic. We'll be exploring how to move from dreams to goals, and we will also be sharing academic success tips and career insights. Now, in order to tackle such a topic, we have split it into three different sections. So, segment one, we have dream big and plan well, because we all understand that having a dream is nothing without an actionable plan. Now, segment two, we'll be going into practical academic planning tools. Now, these tools will be able to implement in your daily life in order to achieve your goal. And last but not least, we have segment three, which includes discussing career oriented programs to help you achieve those goals. Now, for such an interesting topic, we curated a special group of panelists to help us discuss this. So I now welcome, we have the Ministry of Education Region 7 representative, we have Christine Russell Lewin. Good night, Miss Lewin.
Great night to you, Clevena.
How are you doing?
I am excited to be in young people's presence.
Yes, I'm excited to be here as well to have you. So we also have Jamaica Prefects Association on board. We have the National Treasurer. We have Ajaunie Wright.
Good evening, Miss Brown. Good evening, Miss Lewin. How are you
Good
guys?
evening.
Great evening.
I'm doing quite fine, Ajaunie, and how are you?
I'm here. I'm excited. I'm ready to get into the discussion.
All right, so it's a lot of vibes, a lot of excitement in here. So I'd love to go in to the first segment. So we have dream big and plan well. So now, Christine, I'd love to ask you, why is goal setting crucial to academic success? And how can young people effectively set achievable academic goals?
We are in the year 2025, the year to thrive. And how can you thrive without goal settings? Of course, you must have goals. You can't only dwell on your dreams. And so, goals are visionary activities. They can be long term as well as short term. It sets you on a path of what you want to achieve over a period of time. And you basically work towards them by ensuring, as Courtney McLeod says, think with ink. Ensure that you document what you really want to achieve. And as long as you do that, you work towards them. That's important accountability tools to keep you going and to get you on your path, especially for academic success.
Yeah, you said something very interesting there, Christine, about recording and writing down, your plans and your goals, because sometimes you have a lot of it jumbled up into our mind, but when you write it onto paper, you discover that it's easier to realize what you want to achieve. So now, Johnny, what role do student leaders play in fostering a culture of goal setting among their peers?
Okay. Yeah. So I believe as student leaders, it's our responsibility to lead by example, not only in academics but also in extracurriculars. So I believe we should collect ourselves and establish plans that aim us towards excellence because we are the role models for those below us. And on that note, I believe it is through aiming for this excellence that we should also establish opportunities for those below us to not only follow suit but improve on where we may have failed. Um, in the academic setting, as student leaders, from my personal experience, it's imperative for us to share resources and offer encouragement and advice as like we have comfort to them and more encouragement so they can succeed.
All right, thanks, John. It was a little bit of feedback there, but what I definitely took away from what you were saying is that it's great to have to foster such a supportive environment because I'm pretty sure we all know the saying here that goes, "You are a product of your environment." So, as student leaders, you guys are responsible for ensuring that it's conducive to achieving goals and helping each other. That's what leaders are for, to help. Now, I'd love to follow up, I'd love to throw out this question to both of you. Now, what are some common challenges that students face in managing time effectively, and how can they overcome them?
I think one of the challenge, Clevena, that student
Okay.
faces lack of accountability and to be consistent and disciplined in carrying out the plans that they would have. And they depend heavily on their peers to kind of motivate them and push them ahead. But sometimes they have to take the responsibility that this is what I want to achieve, this is what I'm going to achieve, and I'm going to set out to get it done this way. And so, in doing that, being intentional about it helps them to be on that path of success. Go ahead, Ajani.
Okay. Can I go?
Go ahead.
Okay, cool. Okay, so in my opinion, as it pertains to challenges regarding time management from personal and second experience, procrastination is a big factor, as well as generally just feeling drained, feeling overwhelmed, and sometimes unmotivated. So, my advice would be to establish a plan, a time plan, where you establish a goal and break it down. Because once you break any goal, no matter what it is, once you break it down, it's automatically less intimidating and you're more motivated to do each step, and over time it accumulates into achieving said goal. So there are different ways you can do this. You can do it in a notebook, you can do it written down, right? Or you can, what I like to do, I like to establish different items to do on a list, and I organize them in terms of priority. So I know that, okay, once it hits a certain time, I'll do this, and I organize them accordingly. So my advice to you is to never be afraid to just reach out, ask someone if they think this is a good idea, or what do you think I can do to improve this, and their input. Like I was saying earlier, it provides not only practical practical improvements on your academics or whatever factor you're working on, but it also provides comfort and encouragement.
Right. So for me, when I was in school, I can definitely say that those two things that you guys talked about, being accountable and writing down, even if it's like a daily schedule for yourself, it goes a long way. Especially if you're living on dorm, or even if you're in high school, you have clubs, all of these different societies and things that you have to be a part of. It's easy for your day to just get away from you. And you lose your level of accountability throughout the day. Your friend might ask you, follow me go here, so follow me go there, and you just go, and the day is finished and you've accomplished nothing. So being accountable and writing down what you want to achieve is definitely key things I take away from that. So now moving into segment 2, now we talked a bit about being practical. So practical academic planning tools. Now, Christine, what practical strategies can students use to stay organized and focus on their academic goals?
We are living in a technology age and our students are tech savvy. So this the device, the cell phone that you have that you so dearly beloved that you can't separate yourself from it even when you're at school or your tablet. You can download a planner, you can use an app that can help you to plug in the routines, the schedule, the different things that you want to accomplish. And even though you have your goals, from those goals, because goals are usually long term, you set objectives. So you type in your objectives, you plug in your objectives, and even having a vision board as a constant reminder. You could also take a picture of your vision board, put it on your phone screen as your own screen. That's what I do. And every time you look at it, you're reminded that you're studying for your CSEC exams, you need to go and prepare for a paper. things like those, and set the objectives from those goals to be smart, specific, measurable, attainable in real time, because you don't want to be putting these big goals out there and then you have those small working towards achievement. And as soon as you start doing that and you have the wins, the small wins, you celebrate yourself. You buy yourself an ice cream, you tap up your phone, but do something for you to show that you are making progress. Because if you don't do that, you become distracted easily, you become demotivated, and as after a while, you lose the momentum of going after what you really want to achieve, especially if something negative comes and just snap you out of that mindset.
I agree with you there, Christine. Celebrating small wins is definitely something important because when you achieve those smaller milestones, you realize that you're climbing up the ladder bit by bit, and that goal that seems so far away is not so far away now because you're taking smaller steps to achieve it. Now, following off of that, are there any free or accessible tools the ministry provides to help students organize study schedules as well as assignments?
The Ministry of Education, Skills, Youth and Information is always preparing and giving our parents or students opportunities to excel. You have the Ministry of Education website that have a plethora of information there, or young people can go on the website and they can check it out. A very important stakeholder in our schools are our guidance counselors or resource teachers who are there, who are a wealth of information. You go to them, you share what you want to achieve, and they will guide you to and coach you through what is it that you need to achieve. So go on, explore, and you will find lots of other information on set. You will find other coaches which have materials out there that can help. So of course, go on the ministry's website and there you'll find it. Information galore to your needs.
All right, so there you heard it. If you just go on the website, it's one click away from information and resources that can help you. Now, for those who are just joining in, you're not late to the conversation. We now have Joshaye. We have Joshaye Smith. She's with the Jamaica Prefects Association, Region 7, and she is the event coordinator. Welcome, Joshaye.
Thank you very much for having me. Good evening. Good evening.
Hello. Now you're jumping right into the conversation when it is building up. So, Joshaye, I have a question for you. How can peers support collaboration and enhance academic planning?
So I think it's really important for us, especially as students, to have a specific plan for exactly what we want to do. And it really ties into knowing what we'd want to do in the future. It's really important that, maybe in fourth or fifth form, you have an idea of exactly what you would want to do once you grow up. And so you can meet with like-minded people and you can make plans in which you're able to study together. You're able to plan for which colleges you want to go through. So you can also look for assistance with, for example, applying to colleges. And it's also really important that you communicate with your teachers as well. It's really important that you make use of the resources offered by the ministry, by your school, or by online resources, so that basically you're able to have a successive plan of exactly what you want to do and how you'd want to do it.
I think those are very valuable points because as much as the information and the resources they're available to us, a part of it, what I keep hearing in my mind that Christine mentioned is the accountability aspect, being able to know that these resources are here and available. As Joshaye mentioned, you have to actively make the choice to make use of them. So that's a great point. Now we're going a little into the aspect that goes into career-oriented programs. Now, Christine, how can students align their academic goals with their long-term career aspirations?
You first have to look at where do you see your future self, and personal development is important. And again, I will point the students in the direction of the guidance and counseling department, which helps our students to align themselves to what is it that you want, to get some career guidance. And career education is out there. We have a Hard Trust NTA that has a plethora of courses available to our students that they can get involved in and get enrolled in and get more information. But it is important to look at what is it that you like, your likes, your dislikes, your competencies, what are your skills, what qualities do you possess, and what is available and at what is trending, because we know that we are living in a global village and the 21st century we have technology at a different level. And so you have to look at what is it that, how do you see yourself 5 years from now, 10 years from now? Will you be marketable? Will the dream that you're dreaming of will be able to sustain you and your family in the future? So you look at those goals, you assess yourself, and then you start to do interviews, you start to talk to persons and start to do your own research about what is happening out there. And then you start to do the planning in terms of getting yourself organized to get as much information so you can go into training and be directed into the area of focus that you really want to go in. A little bit of coaching will help, because some persons are usually confused. There is too many things out there that is they are gravitating to, and persons really want to be quick out of the blocks and achieve what they're achieving in a short term. But you have to look at what are the assets that are available to you, and how will you be able to get these things in the time that you have it. So a little realistic goal setting is also very, very important in that regard.
Yes, I agree with you. So, Christine, you mentioned a bit about following the trend and noticing, what's popping, as us young people would like to say. So, is STEM still the way to go? When I was in school, I think they were saying that, science, technology, and is that still the pathway to
De-
go now?
definitely STEM STEAM approach, definitely moving forward in this age is where we are going and where we will continue to go,
Okay, so
moving up to the time.
yes, up to the time and keeping up with the time. Are there any programs that you notice that young people are gravitating more towards now?
Well, I know when it comes on to the YouTube, the media, more venturing out into the media, the persons are gravitating towards that, because you have the whole, since COVID-19, more persons are into the media, and so persons are gravitating towards working in that department, and it is now trending into a career, because you have a social media manager, you have persons who are doing videography, sound, and all these things, and the list goes on. So I mean, there's so many diversity to career now that you can sit in your living room and make money and get the training that you need to get just by clicking on a button.
Yes. So for someone who, let's say, has multiple interests, they like a bit of the digital era, they like maybe
Right.
digital marketing, or it could even be something like, I'm not sure, maybe a trade or something. So what pathways and programs does the ministry offer to help students prepare for various career options, or to help them, focus on one area? How do you help them?
There's a six form pathways that is available. With you have the level one, level two, and level three that speaks to where the students are at. But as I said, we have also the work experience coach and work experience teachers that has some amount of information to provide guidance to the students at the high school level. And just even before they reach fourth form, the guidance counselors usually invite institutions to come into the schools and expose our students to the myriad of academic courses that are available and the different career choices. Even have some persons going on the institution site, like they go to the universities to do some tours, ask questions, getting real life questions asked. So the schools, each schools have different plan of action based on the programs that are available to them, and they definitely tap into the students' need. The different institutions also volunteer themselves to come into the local schools, the universities and the colleges, to come in to do their own promotions and stuff like that, to build on the knowledge and allow persons to gravitate to them based on what they are offering. So students just need to explore, just need to connect with the right people, and just keep asking the right questions. Persons are out there. Go to your form teachers, go to your business teachers, go to your guidance counselors, your work experience persons, your sixth form coaches. They are also there to help to guide you in this area.
Awesome. I think that really captures it all. The resources, you guys are there to help. We just need to connect the pieces and bridge the gap and communicate with you guys to help us, transform those goals. Now, Ajani, love to rope you back into the conversation here. So now, how can leadership roles help students explore potential career paths?
You hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so I think you're hearing me. So, as it pertains to leadership roles and career paths, I believe that leadership roles they help to establish friendships, teamwork, collaboration, problem solving, right? I believe it helps to build confidence knowing that you were a leader in an organization or a team. It also helps to provide insight in certain areas so it can help you to get a better grasp of what you might want to do in the future. From personal experience, I find that leadership roles also help in networking, as you tend to meet people who have connections in specific fields or careers. So that's another avenue you can look at it in terms of career path. Is that it? Yes, that's it really. That's my take on it.
Okay, because I think a lot of times people look at being a part of student leadership as just to maybe have a hype or a name around the school, but it's a lot more than that. It goes a lot deeper. So Joshaye, actually I'd love to rope you into the conversation and I'd love to hear your perspective. How has being a part of, student leadership helped you narrow down any potential career paths that you personally had in mind?
Well, for me, being a part of student leadership has really been an integral part of deciding what I'd want to do with my future. For me, what I would want to do, I want to do vascular neurosurgery and I also want to do biomedical research. And being a part of student leadership has really opened up some opportunities for me. I've been able to go to, various forums, various events where I've been exposed to, a variety of career paths and a variety of persons in different fields. And I've been able to, weigh the pros and cons of each field and see what would best fit me and my goals and what I would want to do with the rest of my life.
Yeah, okay. I get that because I think definitely what comes out when you're a part of these different clubs and institutions in your school, it gives a lot of character development, I would say, and through this different character development, you're able to nurture various talents or skills that you may have had within you, which can go into the workplace when you're interacting with different people. Because I know a lot of times, even something as simple as group work that develops skills within you that can help you, the patience, the commitment, the dedication that can go a long way in helping you to achieve your goals and dreams. Now, Christine, back to you. I'd love to ask, what advice would you give to students who are unsure about their future career direction?
Just to be patient with themselves. Experience teaches wisdom. Sometimes the students are very, very what do they call it, jittery and agitated because they want to achieve this and they want to achieve it now. But I will say focus. Focus on your goals. Focus on what you achieve. Align yourself to persons within that area. Create network. Get more information about the areas, and have more than one option. So don't put all people say don't put all your eggs in one basket. Have options, academic options, so that you can move if there's something doesn't work out. Organize your resources because you're going to need resources to take you to the next level. So organize your resources, have conversations, have meeting with your parents and your support group, because you're going to need people. You're going to need the human resource as well as you're going to need tangible resources to take you to the next level. Communicate what is it that you really desire, and communicating clearly. And if you notice, I'm using an acronym for focus. When you communicate clearly, you get information, you also get clarity, and you'll have other information to pass on to your peers. So you'll be an agent of change and a leader in that regard. And of course, minimize the time that you'll use to do things that are not worthwhile. So you're using your time wisely to explore, to surf the internet, to do research, to go on websites, to speak to different, go to different what you have forums, these different career hubs and career fairs that are there. So many different community fairs that are there with different persons setting up. Go ask questions, get the information, and of course, stay positive. Work towards what you achieve. Get out of dreaming and go right into acting and visioning. And of course, you will be on that path of academic success. So, focus is the word. Go and be focused.
Go and be focused. I definitely agree with you there, Christine. I think a part of it is making use of your resources and those around you. So, Joshaye, keeping that in mind now, is there anything that you would say to maybe if there's a first former here watching or someone who's not quite there yet, where they have to make that crucial decision, but they're taking their small steps, building, choosing maybe their subjects or something along that road? What's a piece of advice that you would give them?
Something I would tell like a first one, as you said, is don't limit yourself. What you can do is you can start by setting short-term goals that align with what you're currently interested in. So for example, if you're interested in maybe science or you're interested in law, you can join a club at your school that is focused in that area. You should really focus on exploring these interests and exploring how you would fit into that kind of field. You should explore these fields also. You can explore them through internships, maybe shadowing professionals in that area, or you can do volunteer work. There are various places across the island that are more than willing to facilitate you as you really grow in your career, in your career goals or what you'd want to do. You should also reflect on what really is driving you, what really is pushing you, and what really you would where really you would want to end up. So you should reflect on what excites you and what aligns with your values. And you can speak to mentors, you can speak to teachers or career counselors, and take personality career assessments that can help you gain insight into exactly what you'd want to do and exactly where you'd want to end up. And it's really okay to experiment. At the end of the day, we're all young. It's not necessarily that you're going to be tied to a specific field once you step foot in there. You just make sure you're willing to experiment, willing to take chances, willing to take risks, and just find what you love. And once you find that, God will really put the path for you, so you would be able to go into that field.
Thank you. And you mentioned something about, being a part of different initiatives that exposes you, to possible internships. Someone in the chat just said, great advice from Justin Wallace. From Justin Wallace, he said, great advice, Joshaye. All right. So are there other avenues that you've come across, based on your experience that can also expose students to these opportunities?
I think that really school is a place that we're able to learn and grow as individuals. So school is somewhere where you're able to say, hey, maybe I want to be a teacher. And especially at my school, Glenmere High School, we have different career fairs where we invite some skilled professionals to make presentations to students so they're able to decide, maybe that's a career that would interest me. It's also important for us as students to look into our community and to look into our churches if we are religious. We can find various inspiration from persons in these different fields that we are possibly interested in. Maybe you could speak to your pastor to give you career, well, not necessarily career advice. We can speak to different persons who are maybe leaders in your life, and you're able to see, maybe I'd want to go into that career, maybe I'd want to go here. And maybe you could even ask your parents, say, hey, mommy, can I come with you to work? That's also something you can do. I mean, don't limit yourself. At the end of the day, you are a young person. Persons are not just going to turn you down because they think you're trying to be enough or anything. They want you to learn and grow as a person. So really put yourself out there. You can, market yourself to maybe a local business establishment to say, I just want to come and learn about what y'all are doing here. And once you put yourself out there, you will definitely find something that interests you, and you'll definitely find a field that you're able to fit into and really assimilate into.
I think that yes, Barrington Richardson in the chat says, well said. I agree wholeheartedly, because I think sometimes us as young adults or younger folks, I think we're scared to ask the questions to those who are older. But I think actually they'll be a bit surprised and well receptive. They might even be like, oh, you're so young and you're interested. Wow. I think they might actually be impressed. So I think that's something that we can really take and charge ahead with that. Ask the questions. It's okay. I don't think they're... See, Christine is nodding. Is there something you'd like to add, Christine, to that?
Definitely. And communication to help you to also feel and be a part of what is happening. And so if you ask your parents, they will feel that you're showing interest and it also builds a relationship. And nothing beat experience. Get out there in the sun, get out there with them, see what is really happening. Experience teaches wisdom, and just get your hand in the mud, get involved, and feel what is really making the money, and get at it. Just only don't limit yourself to social media. Get into the people's space and listen, learn, and be teachable. And I think that will help you to move forward.
And I think something important that you guys both said is don't limit yourself, especially while we're this young. I think it's the opportunity to find, as you would have mentioned before, find something that you're interested in. If that means trying maybe five things and then narrowing it back down to two, the top two, and deciphering which or whichever route to go, I think that's also very important. Give yourself the opportunity to have a chance to choose. As Christine would have mentioned and Joshaye, the opportunities are there. Give yourself the opportunity to experience whatever those are. Ajaunie, I'd love to rope you back into the conversation. So now, with your experience as a student leader, and being in school, they always say to you that your classmates could be the next doctor, the next lawyer, the next whoever that is. How can a student go about networking while in school, keeping in mind that, when you're finished, all of us going into the workspace, prospective people to know?
Environment. Within my personal experience, my advice would be to make friends because my classmates and schoolmates, their families, they're involved in a lot of different fields, right? And just by you knowing them, you can get an in or insight into said field. Speak with your teachers because your teachers have been through what you've been through and they've been through what you haven't, right? So they have insight into specific subject areas or areas of life, really. So reach out to them. You never know, right? You can also go online. Online is another great facet of networking. Just by commenting on different videos, following different social pages, you can be open up to different opportunities, and as such, can lead to different networking opportunities.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Ajani, because something especially that you said is, it's not necessarily sometimes it's who you know as well. Your network, I think there's a saying, your network is your net worth. I believe that's how it goes. So sometimes even engaging with the different people in your space, you mentioned your teacher. Sometimes your teacher may know of an internship or they need a recommendation. I think maybe Miss Lewin can speak to that as well. Sometimes all they need is a recommendation from someone from the class, and by keeping in touch and following along, you're able to write your own recommendation. And that's also helpful, to your future self, not just right now. Because I think sometimes we forget that it's not just about today. We're also trying to improve, you know, our future selves. Yes, Barrington agreed in the chat. He said your network is your net worth. I agree with you there.
Yeah, just to add, Clevena, you also mentioned about the values. Teachers always say you're writing your own recommendation. And so it is important that students understand that whatever you do speaks to who you are and where you're going and what you're about. So believe in yourself, develop your personal self, and work with the persons who are in the space to help you. And once they're seeing growth and maturity and development, they are quick to say, I know Ajaunie. Ajaunie is very, very good at what he does. He's a good listener. He's willing to participate. And there you go, a recommendation right off the bat, sending you off to persons who will help you to grow and to move forward. So, yes, connectivity is key.
Yes, I agree with you. I think it's a lovely flow of conversation here. And Barrington in the chat said, Miss Lewin, thank you so much for representing. Now, as we're winding down, I'd love to go ahead to ask Christine, could you share a final message of encouragement to students on the importance of academic and career planning?
Students, it is important that you visualize their vision so that you can achieve victory. Put those plans on paper. Yes, I know some of us will say, I have it in my head, mommy, teacher, I know what I want to become, but it is important to write. Write it out. Write out those visions, write out those goals. And as Ajaunie would have said, break them down in small, achievable objectives. Say what you want to achieve by when, and then start making the small steps. Once you're doing that, you're on a path of academic success. And go to persons who can help. Find those persons who are in this space, who are willing to mentor you, who are willing to help you, and talk with them. Nothing beats having a wholesome conversation about development and going forward and having direction for your life. And if you're a bit confused, that's why you have all your guidance counselors at schools. They're there to help you. And we also have career coaches. And Heart and Our Trust NSTA have so many opportunities out there for our young people. So just don't sit in that corner and mope. Get into a space where you can connect. Start writing first, and then find persons who have like vision to you and help them to understand that this is where you want to go. How do I get there? And I'm sure before you know it, you'll be celebrating those goals.
Yes, I definitely agree. It's all about taking short term steps in order to achieve your long term goals. Now, Joshaye, I'd love to rope you back into the conversation. Now, for a student who's listening, someone who's watching us online, and they want to be able to ensure that they can hold themselves accountable in order to achieve their goals, what would you say to them?
Firstly, before we wrap up, I would really want to express my gratitude for being able to be a part of this powerful initiative on youth empowerment. I haven't been feeling well the past couple of days, but I'm really just honored to have the opportunity to come here and participate in this really rich forum. So, to a student, I would really say the best thing you can do for accountability is tell someone what you want to do. It's really important, as Mrs. Lewin said, to write down your goals, write down exactly what you want to do, exactly how you're going to do it, and exactly the time frame that you'd want to achieve it in. From there, you can share it with maybe your mother or your father or one of your siblings and say, hey, this is what I want to achieve. And I want you to keep me accountable. Every time I have a deadline, just remind me that, hey, this is coming up. Every time there's a specific goal I need to reach by a specific time or the specific thing I need to get done, just remind me and say, remember, you're working towards a specific goal. And it's important that you really hold yourself accountable and, work towards exactly what you want to do. And it's also important in your, movement towards what you want to do in the future that you speak to your teachers again, speak to the persons around you and take advantage of every opportunity. Don't limit yourself and say, I am young, they're not going to, they're not going to basically respect what I have to say, or they're not going to want to hear what I have to say. Take advantage of every opportunity, because every opportunity that you miss, you will regret. Persons can tell you no, but it's up to you to really take the initiative and go out there and put yourself out there. That way, within yourself, you're able to know, I tried my best. I did exactly what I needed to do. And if they tell me no, one door closed, is a plethora of doors open. You can never really limit yourself based on that. Just put yourself out there. Let persons know what you want to do. And I can guarantee you that you will end up where you want to be.
I definitely agree with you there, Joshaye. It's your dreams, it's your goals. You have to take your own initiative to achieve them. I think what you're trying to say, and it stands out to me, is that no is not an answer. It's your future. You have to want it as much as the next person. It's your goals. You have to go forward and do your best to actualize that. And Tariq Donaldson said in the chat, very inspiring and enriching. Thank you, Joshaye. Now I'd love to rope you back into the conversation, Ajaunie. Now, what's your charge to someone who wants to take ownership to ensure that they achieve their academic goals along with personal growth?
So my Wi-Fi is moving a bit slow, but I noticed you guys weren't speaking, so I'm wondering if I was only supposed to speak now.
Yes. Yes, I was asking you the same question that I posed to Joshaye.
Oh,
Yes.
oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, so as it pertains to speaking to the youth, I just want to let you guys know that all you youth, not just youth, but everyone listening, you're brimming with so much potential. So I don't want you to ever feel, well, you're going to, but I don't want you to everlastingly feel unmotivated or overwhelmed. Right? I want you to approach every challenge wholeheartedly, and what else can I say? Plan in everything you do. Have a plan, and you will never truly fail, right? So just buckle down, focus on school, focus on personal growth, and you will achieve anything you want to achieve.
All right. Thank you so much. And I do agree with you. It's like buckling down, planning. I think I took away a lot of things, and I think those in the chat they also would agree. Going back to the start, we talked about accountability. Christine, you know, you'd have mentioned accountability and really taking charge and owning what it is that you want to achieve, you know, your goals. You have to follow up with yourself. It's not just, oh, I want to achieve this. You write the vision board and you put it down and poof, it's going to magically take place. No, you have to really put in, you know, the work. And Ajaunie would have mentioned, you know, earlier to us that being a part of student leadership, you have to hold yourself accountable, you know, to creating that space for your other peers to be able to achieve that, you know, being a part of that, ensuring that everyone has a place that's receptive and able to learn and really develop, you know, each other's skill sets. And Joshaye, you mentioned a lot of different things. And I think what really stood out to me is that ask the questions. You're not too young. You know, I think the adults around us, I think they have a lot of knowledge that they are sitting on. And I think they just love if we would maybe bridge that gap and take the first step ourselves, you know, and try to communicate with them, because a part of, you know, being adults and being the older ones in society, I think is also nurturing us as the younger folks. But we have to be able to want to make that first step and to reach out, you know. And I see Christine not in agreement with me there. And even moving on over to the academic planning tools section, we talked a lot about, you know, the resources that are there. You mentioned, Christine, the website that is there. Could you remind those who are watching where they can go to connect to those resources?
The Ministry of Education website. They just need to type it in and go on, and there can explore a lot of what is happening. And we also have trend. We are trending. So there you go. You'll see what is trending in the Ministry of Education, Skills, Youth and Information. And go to your guidance counselors. They too have materials, links, and other information. And check out your school groups. Information are posting them in there. Once we get the information at the ministry, the education officers will send it to the schools, and the schools will send it out to the parents. So the information is out there. All our young people need to do is to explore on them.
Right. And I think I'd love to extend to both Joshaye and Ajaunie. Is there any resource packet or anything like that that the Prefects Association gives out to students for help with either career or academic pursuits? Either one of you could take the question.
As of right now, no, there is no specific packet that we offer as it pertains to um, development regarding career or academics, but that is a good idea, and I'll bring it hopefully into something we can implement.
Okay, awesome. Now, just to go back to our little recap, in our last segment a while ago, for those who are just joining, we talked about the career-oriented programs, and it was all about basically the resources are there, students, we can ask. I think the Ministry of Education, Skills and
And
Information,
And
yes.
Clevena, just to add that in February we celebrate the National Career Week, and during that week there are a plethora of activities that will take place all over Jamaica, throughout the region, and in the different schools as it relates to career. We also invite our schools to participate in the career poster competitions, where students can win exciting prizes. And of course, last year Region 7 came away with the first place winner for the primary school poster, and we have some of our high schools that participated in this poster competition. So there are many things out there for our students to get involved. Don't sit back and relax. You'll be hearing a lot more about our career development and also activities relating to career in that week. And schools will also be planning activities in that regard. You have the JACE and the JAB Stone that our primary schools also participate in. So get on board and get in the know. And of course, you'll be attached to something that will keep you occupied and keep you going.
All right. Thank you so much for that. There's a lot to look forward to in February. That's what I'm hearing. Thank you for that addition, and I'm looking forward to seeing all of those things coming into fulfillment. Now, I'd love to say to all of our panelists here tonight, your time has been truly, truly appreciated. I think there are some valuable gems that were dropped tonight, as Tariq Donaldson shared in the chat, that very inspiring and very enriching, and keeping up with this enriching spirit that we have here at SRC. We have coming up is the SRC Community Corner Live Forum. And on that forum, we'll be discussing unlocking path benefits in Jamaica and everything you need to know. And that will be on Thursday, January 16th at 8 p.m. I'd love to thank the Ministry of Education, Skills, Youth and Information, Jamaica Prefects Association, contributors, and of course our forum sponsor, Juicy Patties, for so willingly helping us to facilitate this forum. I don't know about you guys, but I'm feeling very charged. I too wrote my vision board for 2025, and I'm feeling, yes, Christine is saying yes, I'm feeling very motivated. I'm going to take my goals into my own hands, as Joshaye said, and I'm going to also ensure that I don't lose my motivation along the way, as Ajaunie would have mentioned. And of course, always remember to celebrate your small wins, as Mrs. Lewin would have mentioned before. And stay tuned, of course, to our next youth forum. Once again, I am your host, Clevena Brown, and I thank you for tuning in to tonight's youth forum.
The SRC Youth Empowerment Live Forum is brought to you on second Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Visit our website at www.serenityresourceconnector.com and subscribe to receive our weekly blog post. Join us again on Thursday at 8 p.m. for Community Corner. Thank you for watching.